Today I want to talk about what I heard individuals talking about while I was having coffee this morning concerning how to resolve the problems in the black community. Some people believe that we need to start soul patrols and we need to march and we need to get law enforcement connected up with the people in the various communities here in Valdosta, Georgia. I've been doing this since '75. I mean, civil rights work, and I've tried some of everything. I've worked with people who started organizations and who started foot patrols, et cetera, et cetera. And after all these many years, I've come to the conclusion that black people can connect up with law enforcement, the G.B.R, the FBI, the CIA, and the Congressional Black Caucus, and anybody else. But unless we as a people, unless we come together, create some businesses, create some jobs for ourselves, very little will change in the black community. If a person need to eat and establish some type of residency, and if they don't have it, they're going to steal. It's just the way it is. And so I hear newspapers and TV anchors across the nation. But look, let's be real. If you take in any city the number of whites in good jobs, take them, put them in the homes of black people and in the communities of black people, and give them 6 months, not a year, 6 months, and see what would happen to them. Many of them will commit suicide, and we know that. We know that from history. The black man, woman, and their children. Now, I'm not making excuses for these black folk who just don't want to work. I'm not asking you to understand why black folk beat their women and women give their men hell. I can't answer that. But what I can say to you, that if a young man come back from jail or prison, and if nobody will hire them, and then you get a sign and you go out and say, we want you to become better citizens at meetings, and you get the mayor, and if you get the city manager to come and talk to you, to those people, young people, what good is that? Them young folks shaking their head at you. What the hell you talking about, man? Do you know I have a probation bill I got to pay? Do you know I got a child support check or payment and check that I got to wake up some kind of way? If I don't get it, I'm going back to jail? White folks act like they don't understand this. They act like they don't understand this, y'all. And you know, I'm pretty soon, you know, I'm getting up in age now. And when I had a store for 14 years, and I used to have young folk to come and tell me, the police officers are playing drugs on us. I didn't believe them. They told us people are set up car dealerships and they fronting. Listen, they are fronting. They the ones selling drugs. I didn't understand that yesterday. My eyes was too small. I was wearing dark colored shades. I couldn't see a damn thing. I was in the traditional church. I went to church. I prayed. I fast. I asked God to lift my people out of this. Yes, I did that. We go to church and we clap our hand, hallelujah, hallelujah, and hallelujah. Didn't change a damn thing. Now, there's an exception. There's an exception to every rule. The people that listen to the message of truth, some of them changed their ways. But even at that, they had to still get up, get a job, get an education, find somebody in the community that cared enough about them to give them a chance. To give them a chance. I haven't lost my point. You all thought I lost my point. I haven't lost my point. If you take white people from the position of mayor, position of city manager, position of the sheriff of Lowndes County, the position of the chief of police, the position or the city engineer and put black folk, I don't mean just unqualified black, I'm talking about put a qualified black in those positions and take those white people and put them in positions that many of your mothers and fathers are in and see what they'll do with that income and the community in which they live. And when they try to get themselves out of those communities, their hands are tied behind their backs. If they can make it out of the community, they put in an application before the police beat the hell out of them, or worse, and kill them. And so we are in a very unique situation as black people. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a rich man. And some of you talk about middle class. Well, I'm in a class by myself. I mean just like that. But guess what? It wouldn't make a difference whether I made $500 or $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 a month. It really wouldn't matter too much to me because of the level of information I got from my grandma over in Brooks County. I learned this, and I'm finna close. I learned this, that if you don't make but $100 a month, you sure as hell better learn how to stretch that thing and make a piece of rubber out of it. We learned that as black folk. We know how to stretch. We know how to eat turnip greens and put onion in them to stretch them out if necessary, drop some cornbread in them, and we will put grits in them. But we gonna survive, man. We are a surviving people. Yes, we are surviving people. And I'm gonna tell you something else too. I would love to see all these high-called sedity white folk and Indians and others who have stepped on the black people from the year 1555 when we first came to these shores on a ship called Jesus, captained by a white European slave owner by the name of Sir John Hawkins. We, as a people, are suffering from an inferiority complex. Do you know when I was brought up, y'all have to excuse me, I'm saying this for the young people because a lot of y'all won't know it if don't nobody say nothing about it. I felt terrible when I was young. I prayed and I asked God to make me a white man. I know, y'all don't want me to say that. But see, the more truth I speak to you, the freer I become, and the more God free me up, the greater truth I'm able to speak. You see, white folk back then owned everything. We had inferior schools. I'm not using that as a tool to justify where I am in life and that I don't have the property of the Langdales or that I don't have electric company like Sheriff Ashley Paul. I'm not making excuses. But I'm asking you to call me a liar based on truth. And so if you take white folk, Indians from India, and others who are what you call, quote unquote, very successful. In fact, you can take some very successful black folk and put them in the homes of low-income blacks and see how long they will be home. Many of them, God bless their soul, some of them would take their own lives. But we are a enduring people, And I want to say to you as I close, y'all, I could talk all day. I've been doing this since 75, and I love my people so much until I just don't know what to do except to try to talk to young people and encourage them that there is a way out of all of this. Yes, there's a way out of all this. And the way you get out of it is changing your mindset. You got to change your mindset. If we have had religion for 464 years after we got off the boat, and if our religion can only lead us to Sunday school, to Bible study, to prayer meeting, and bear meeting on Friday night, and we return home to the same hellhole, the same dead bills on the dresser that we got to pay but can't pay, without saying to your family, teaching your children to get an education, and that ain't all of it. You can get an education and still nobody will employ you. So you got to learn how to use your hand, man. Get you a skill. Get you a trade. Something you can use and sell. Go back to the earth. I know it's hard to farm. I'm from the farm. We got 50 acres of land over there in Brooks County. And none of us stayed on the farm because we caught too much hell on the farm. But look, study the history of your people. Understand why the white man hates you so much and why we love them so much. Even though we know we have the record of what they did to our grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-great-great-great-grandparents. And we still love white folk. But they don't love us, according to history and proof, like we love them. They do not love us like we love them. And so don't you think it's about time for us to turn and to appreciate our own black skin and kin? Time to stop criticizing each other and calling us niggers. Yeah, I know y'all call it a game. But if you look, why do you think white folks started calling you niggers? Have you ever looked into the word nigger? Originally, the word niggers meant spirituality. Other words, in ancient Africa, do your own research, don't take my word for it. It was close to God. That's the power of that word called nigger. And so the white man flipped the script on you because they knew the greatness of your black skin and kin and what you contributed to civilization. But they didn't want you to know that. And so they call you burrhead. They call you niggers as a means of denigrating you. They call you 3/5 of a human being. They call you little black Sambo. They call you every dirty name, but they wouldn't call you the ancient Hebrew Israelites. They wouldn't call you the chosen people of God. They wouldn't tell you that you was in the book of Genesis when the 5 rivers ran together there, Gihon, all those rivers. They wouldn't tell you that. In fact, it was against the law to educate a black man. And the black people who came to America and who could blow the horn, who could beat the drum, they stopped them from doing that because we were sending messages. We were communicating. And this is why you don't hardly find black men now sitting down at the Black Country Club dialoguing about the history of self and who they are as a people. And so, y'all have a nice day. I'm sorry, you have to excuse me. If I had a PhD or, like some of these other people and who can articulate and they give you the verbiage from Einstein, or they give you the philosophy of Socrates, or they give you the understanding of Adam Smith, a white European who set this economic system up. And then after Adam Smith set up this system, and he thought he had done so, and he appreciated, but near his death, that man almost committed suicide. And he took all his writings and he burned them up. Don't take my word for anything you say. I say, check your history. When I talked about Sir John Hawkins and the slave ship called Jesus, if you're a Christian, you think I'm criticizing Christendom. You can call me a lie today, but when you research, you'll call me a man of truth tomorrow. Hey, yes, sir. When I tell you about the KJ case, and when I say this to you, you can call me a lie. But if you Google Kendrick Johnson and George Boston Rhymes and my criminal trespass, after that young man's death, they found it necessary to put your little brother, George Boston Rhymes, under a 4-year, 4 months criminal trespass and counting. And counting. They didn't want the story to be told, I guess. I don't know why in heaven they put me under criminal trespass unless I was doing something that the other news media would not do. That's why you hear me criticize Victor Blackwell on CNN. And I do it out of love. I don't do it to dislike anyone. When I criticize MSNBC, 60 Minutes, 48 Hour, Dateline, HLN, and the rest of the crew, I don't hate them. I just want them to compliment the founding European white fathers of this republic, who said they believe in freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, etc., 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 and your right to know. Well, if it used to be that way, why is it now that they will not come to Georgia and investigate these 18 to 35 cities that I've already reviewed? People got the record to show that they can connect the dots and show the world how the white clickers, and I call the clickers, those in the pattern that practice the pattern and practice to keep blacks from voting, keep blacks from winning elections. Then after they elected, there's a system to remove them from office with the help of Jane Negroes. And it's sad, y'all. It is very sad that the news media will not report the news in the black community. And you have heard me give the Valdosta Daily Times here in Valdosta, the editor, I give them an open challenge and going to visit them real soon. Yes, I must visit them. I want to talk to the Valdosta Daily Times editor. I did in the past. I'm going back to Channel 27. I'm going back to WALB TV. I'm going back to CBS TV. I want to know why a United States retired military veteran of the Vietnam War could be put under a criminal trespass for not violating the law and remain under it for 4 years and 4 months, and not one free press in South Georgia or in the state of Georgia will even report it to the American people. What has happened only after the death of that young man at Lowndes County High School. Now, even more sickening than that, y'all. Even more sickening than that, black people, white right people and others. Even more sickening than that. The precedent that the sheriff department here in Lowndes County have set in stone, and in the state of Georgia, with the help and approval, apparently, of the criminal investigative department at the sheriff department, the municipal court system, the superior court system, the district attorney David Miller, Attorney General Sam Olens, the governor of the state of Georgia. They all have stamped their hand of approval on putting people under a criminal trespass when they violated no law, and they won't even come to help a veteran who served during the Vietnam era. And you black folks still want to go fight these damn wars when they don't give a, they proven to you they don't give a damn about you. You better wake up, y'all. Let me finish. I'm still on point. Even more sickening is that these same white kids, parents who go to Valdosta State University, Georgia Wiregrass Technical College, come to Kendaloo Golf Course, the tourists who come here to go to Wild Adventures theme park, the same law enforcement agency that put me under this can do it to you, your children, your grandmother, and coming generations. And you don't give a damn about that, white folk? White folk, please understand, it's the black man today, but tomorrow gonna be you, the German man, and the rest of them. Can't you see that clearly, my brothers and sisters? Take the shades off, man, so you can see. If they don't care about me, I'm a human being regardless of what you say. If they can do this to me, rest assured, with or without shades on, you can't see it today. The black man been trying to tell you for 464 years, but you wearing your shades on. But you know what? In closing, according to Matthew 24:35, heaven and earth would pass away, but my word would stand forever. I'm saying to black folk, do not retaliate at that white man the way he has retaliated against you. He pick up weapons and robes. I'm going to continue to say what Jesus said. I'm going to continue to say what the Holy Quran says if properly understood. I'm going to continue to say what the Torah said if you properly understand it. The Jerusalem Bible in its completeness, the same thing. Hinduism, if you understand it properly, you will understand that they all were about peace. They all talked about even preserving the vegetation. And so when Jesus said, if you believe him, that heaven and earth would pass away, but my word would stand forever. Jesus also said, greater love, no greater love than this, that a man would lay down his life for a friend. Yes, this is the age we're living in today. For the most part, that love have waxed cold. Men have lost the natural affection for the woman. They are turning to the lusts of their own flesh. And I'm asking people, don't retaliate against people who went down the wrong side of the road on a Saturday night. Because your God, I'm not talking about that other God, but the God of your ancestors said that these days would surely come. And he said that when you see these things, you stand in the holy place. In other words, you be a man. You be a woman. Don't be caught up in the middle. And regardless of what they try to shove down your throat, my friend, you stand in the holy place. The Bible tells us that before the end of time, this is why when I look and see all these ills in the world, I say, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Allah. Thank you, El Shaddai. Thank you, Jah. Thank you for giving me a warning. For if they had not given me a warning, I would be hating the gays, the lesbians, etc., etc. But I don't hate on them. I do not seek to destroy them. Because God told me about them in Scripture. Go to the book of Leviticus. Go to the book of Deuteronomy and study about yourself. So don't be overwhelmed about what you see and say this nation is falling apart. This nation is not falling apart, my friend. In the book of Revelation, you read about Babylon the Great is fallen, is fallen, is fallen. But God is fulfilling divine scriptures. Why do you think Donald Trump is doing what he's doing, and the white people and some blacks, they will not even criticize him? And you can look at the man and tell something not right, but they still hold him up. Now that troubles a lot of you. That's because you go to church, but you don't read into your Bible. It's just like the word knowledge. Many of you all have seen the word knowledge. Write that word down on the paper, Knowledge, and go to the first word, know, and you'll find 7 words in that one word, and they all are in order. That should tell you that you need to look into what you've been looking at. You have seen the word knowledge all your life, but you haven't looked into the word knowledge to pull out those 7 words, and they all are in order. That lets you know that you need to remove your dark glasses so God can elevate and illuminate your mind. Not to mention the third eye, or the pineal gland. By the way, I'm closing, y'all. Look up the pineal gland. Look up the pineal gland. Or Google the third eye and you'll see another eye right up here. It's about the size of a raisin that's right up here, y'all. Yeah, it's right up here. Now, you won't find that in the Bible, you see. I used to be stuck on the Bible, but somewhere I was traveling, I told you all one day, and I fell on my way to the bus station. And this is why people dislike me. This is why people would turn me off when I come on Facebook. This is why I got over 1 million views around the world. And a lot of people rather get down and get funky instead of getting down and getting educated. You see, there's a difference between education and intellect. And there's also a difference between education and being trained. You see, you train a dog, but the question is he educated? Look here, I talk to you like this because I love you just that much. Y'all have a nice day. May God bless you. We just called this a Wednesday side-by-table chat, okay? Peace be unto you. Bye-bye, we gone. May God bless each and every one of you, whether you be Muslim or Christian or Jew, Hindu or just simply you. I want you to know that I love you, because without love, we just can't make the trip. I'm not talking about into heaven, y'all. I'm talking about around the streets. See, I don't do nothing to get to heaven. I don't do what I do to go to heaven. Some of you, everything you do, you say, I do it because I want to go to heaven. I don't want to go to hell. Look, I'm not studying that. I do what I do because I believe in doing what's right. If there wasn't no heaven, in other words, I don't look for no reward for what I do. I don't want God to reward me by going to heaven for what I do. I do right because it's just right to do right. I know y'all ain't comprehending that. I'm going to say it once again, and then I'm going to hang up. I don't go to church. I don't help the man on the street to get to heaven. I don't be kind to people who dislike me to get to heaven. I don't go out and put my life on the line and be threatened because I'm thinking that's going to get me a ticket into heaven. I don't do that. I just do it because it's the right thing to do. And God don't have to pay me for doing what's right. I do right because I love doing right. Because after all, I want to be a righteous person, even if there is no heaven. And if there is no hell, I still would do right because it's right to do right. And it soothes your soul. I remember when I went in the military, they used to give me stress tests. I never had a stress test. I've had stress tests. Never failed a stress test. Because what you going to get stressed out about, man? What in the world are you going to get stressed out about? Peace be unto you. Bye-bye. We gone.